Okay, welcome. Good afternoon. Now I have to readjust my camera so we're shining. Here we go. Let's see. All right, let's see if this can work. All right, well, welcome everyone to our monthly AUCHU Mastermind, virtual mastermind meeting. I am Angela Fafali Nyarko. I am the owner and director of this South Carolina Option 3 Homeschool Accountability Association. So this month is a very good topic, and I promise you, you want to take notes. This is being recorded, so uh, you can refer back to it at any time, whether on YouTube or on our website. You can get back to this information. So take notes, and then if you have questions, you all please chime in and let me know. You can type them into the chat. But of course, you can always wait till the end. We'll have a Q&A section for sure, okay? So let me share my screen so that then you can see the presentation. All right, let me get ready to start that. Okay, hopefully everyone can see that just fine. Let's close this. All right. This, okay, stuff always get me out. Okay, I'm not sure where to put that. So hopefully it would disappear. And as people come in, I will just let them know. Okay, so this month's conversation, as you maybe this is your first time coming, every month we have a virtual mastermind meeting, and it's always on a different topic. Not only do we have this workshop, which is on a different topic pertinent to homeschooling and just homeschool life, but then we also have what we have, like a support group meeting. So it allows you all to ask questions about this workshop or anything at all that's on your heart's desire that you want to, talk about and converse with your other fellow homeschool families, parents that are a part of this association. So let's dive into it. This is avoiding common legal pitfalls in homeschooling. Okay. So this is our outline. This is where we're headed. This should last about 30 minutes. We have our welcome and introduction. We'll talk about our objective. Number 3, understanding South Carolina Option 3 requirements, what the law does not say, common legal pitfalls and how to avoid them, quick compliance tips. Then we jump into our Q&A and final takeaways and our contact information. Okay, so again, this is our topic and conversation for today. I will promise you that a year does not go by that people fall into these legal pitfalls very easily. And sometimes it's from misinformation. Sometimes it's just they didn't research and they just thought. They didn't do any research before they decided to start homeschooling. And so they find themselves in a world of, mix-ups, confusions, things they need to quickly solve and get right. And, they come for help and guidance. But so we're going to step through here and make sure everyone understand all of these points to make sure you stay on the straight and narrow in your legal status as you're homeschooling in South Carolina. First of all, here's the introduction. Who am I? My name is Angela Fafali Nyarko. I've been homeschooling for 25 years. My oldest child, who is right here in the purple bluish box, she's on the left with glasses. This is Annika. She just turned 29. I started when she was 4 years old, and now homeschooling all 8 of them. So these older children are my older 4 that's in this blue purple box. My oldest, like I said, is Annika. She's 29. Then my son to the bottom here is Jordan. He'll be 27 October. Then Nolani at the top of this box, purple blue box, she will be 25. And then on next Wednesday, my youngest of the older four will be 21. She's on the right side of this box. And then we started again through adoption, our younger four children. So we have Maria, who's in the pink shirt. He is 18. Twin boy and girl to the left in this yellow box, that's Ephraim, and that's Tirza. They're 16. And then Benjamin, the youngest, he's much taller and look more like a man now. So I need to update the picture. All my guys have changed so much. But Benjamin will be 14 in August. He's the youngest, but he does not look like this anymore. But again, yeah, I've been homeschooling in South Carolina since the year 2005 when we moved there. Before that, we were in Virginia homeschooling. I've been the director and owner of this homeschool association in South Carolina since 2014. So that's 11 years of serving families all over the state of South Carolina. I travel quite a bit all over the place. I enjoy traveling. It's good for my sanity and peace of mind. And I can serve and support my families wherever I go. So that's a little bit about me. All right, so let's get to the objective. Let's understand where we're headed and what this is going to be all about. The objective of this workshop is to equip homeschooling families with a clear understanding of South Carolina's Option 3 homeschooling law, clarify what the law does and does not require, and provide practical steps to avoid common legal mistakes. So by the end of this session, participants will know the exact legal requirements under South Carolina Option 3 regarding membership, the subjects, instructional days, record keeping, etc. Also understand what is not required by law, just to avoid unnecessary stress and extra work. Also, identify and prevent common legal pitfalls that could lead to non-compliance and a lot of other serious things. And then lastly, you gain confidence in maintaining compliance. Okay. Let's understand, first of all, really quickly, what the Option 3 law is all about. Okay. First, let's go straight to the law. South Carolina has 3 legal ways to homeschool. All right. We have Option 1, Option 2, and Option 3. Most families choose Option 3 because it offers the most flexibility. Now, under South Carolina Code of Laws 59-65-47, here's what is clearly stated for Option 3 is very, very, very simple. 1, you must be a member of an Option 3 homeschool association with at least 50 member families. Okay, that's the first. You have to be the legal parent or guardian, and you must have a high school diploma or GED. All right. Now, okay, hold on just a second. Now, there's often times where a grandparent will be homeschooling, or I should say the grandparent is a legal guardian of the children, and maybe an auntie. This is a scenario I just have. And the auntie is, really the one that's helping or doing a majority of the schooling. Well, that's fine, but the grandparent who has the legal guardian of the children is the one who has to have a legal status, and she has to have the GED or high school diploma. Okay, so if you're an auntie or of someone else, and maybe you want to help the parents with their homeschooling because you homeschool, you can, but the parent has to meet these regulations for South Carolina. They themselves have to join an association. They themselves have to have the GED or high school diploma. okay, in order for you to be able to help homeschool the children. Oh, sure. Okay, I'm trying to go to the next screen. 1 second. Okay, give me 1 moment. Let's figure out what's going on here. Go back to share. Welcome everyone who just came in. Thanks for joining us, okay? Oh, now we went too far. Okay, there we are. Okay, so the next thing is you must teach a minimum of 180 instructional days per year. This is what the law says, the option 3 homeschool law. And your curriculum must include the 5 main subjects, okay, as a minimum. At least these 5 have to be taught within your homeschool year. They don't have to be taught every day, but they have to be taught math, science, social studies, reading, and writing. Okay. Now, from 7th to 12th grade, the reading and writing changes to literature and composition. So the focus is not so much on reading, writing when they are 7th to 12th grade, but more so composition and literature. Composition is still writing, literature is still reading, but the terminology just changes. You have to keep records to demonstrate compliance. These are things you have to maintain. So the law specifically says you need a plan book or journal, a portfolio of student work, okay? Taking excerpts of their best work and putting it in a 3-ring binder, manila folder, or an envelope, okay? Next, you have to complete a semi-annual or biannual progress report. That just means twice a year. And for my members, I explained that 90 days and 180 days, once you reach those milestones, those are perfect time to do your progress report. And then lastly, maintain a daily attendance, okay? Sick days, vacation days do not count unless there is academic learning occurring. So if they're sick and they're just laying around and not doing any work, you can't count that as a schooling day. But if they're sick and they're looking at some history videos, or they are reading, or they're doing something that's academically benefiting them, then yes, count that sick day as a schooling day. Same with vacations, unless they're going on vacation and it's just total fun and no opportunity for learning, then those days can't count. But if you can squeeze in some learning opportunities in those vacation days, then do it. And then you can count it for a school day. Okay, so what does the law not say? This is where many families either overcomplicate things or just accidentally create problems for themselves. Okay, so what does the law not say? The law does not say you must use a specific curriculum. Okay, option 1 and option 2, well, I should say option 1 gives you the curriculum. That's public schooling in your home through a computer. And then option 2, a group with SCAES, South Carolina Association of Independent Homeschoolers, they require that you choose their homeschooling from, you choose curriculum from a list that they provide. Somebody, I can put that in the back. Okay. Let's see. I'm not sure I can, but I think it's Patricia and Tiffany's phone. If you all can mute yourself. There we go. Thank you. But on option 3, The law does not say you must use a specific curriculum. You choose the best materials that best fit your child's learning style. Library, curriculum, create your own. I just created a whole curriculum. What was it? Okay, my brain is all over the place, but you can create your own curriculum. You can use the library, use YouTube, use your auntie, uncle, whomever you like to, to use for materials or resources for your children's schooling. Okay. The law does not say you must keep grades or a specific grading scale. Okay. Progress reports do not have to include letter grades unless you choose to, right? So the law does not say that. However, when it gets to the time where you're doing a transcript because your children are now taking high school courses, this is where a transcript would need to be completed with grades, courses, and credits to prove graduation standards are met. Okay. So for me personally, and a lot of other families, we really don't focus on giving grades, assigning grades until they're taking high school courses. Up until then, it's not required. The law doesn't require that at all. But if you want to, you certainly can give your younger children that's not taking college prep, high school courses. Those words are interchangeable, synonymous with each other. College prep, high school courses, grades. Okay. The law does not say you must submit daily lesson plans. It doesn't say you have to submit. Okay. So a simple plan book or journal works. This could even be a bullet list of what was covered. So you don't have to submit that to anyone. It says the parent or legal guardian shall maintain. So you have to maintain that information. Simple. Okay. The law does not say you must teach at a specific time or at specific times of day or mimic a traditional school schedule. No, homeschooling is flexible as long as you meet 180 instructional days. Okay. So if you like in the morning, great. If you like in the afternoon, fine. You like in the evening, fine. You like a little bit in the morning, in the afternoon, and evening, fine. It's up to you. You want 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 days. Nefertari, can you put yourself on mute? I think you're getting feedback from you. If whatever you like to do, you can do it. The law does not say you must teach at a specific time of the day or mimic what schools look like. Okay. The law does not require that you should submit your portfolio to the state or district. Your option 3 association is your point of accountability. Okay. So for your portfolio, again, the law says the parent or legal guardian shall maintain. And then it doesn't say, and you should turn it into your association, your homeschool association. Okay. Doesn't say that at all. The law does not require end of the year testing. So unlike option 1 and 2, where they require testing, option 3 does not require annual standardized testing or any specific assessments. Okay. Now, if you choose to do that, you can, absolutely. If you care to know where your child may fall as far as their academics, I started that when I first started homeschooling, and then quickly about 4 years into our journey, 4 or 5 years, I realized this is a waste for me because I'm just going to make sure my children know what they need to know, and I'm not going to be bound by a grade level or what the public school says my children should know within a grade level. I'm just not going to do that to them or to myself. So we stopped. Okay. The law does not require records to be maintained for a certain length of time. Excuse me. The law doesn't really say anything. All the record keepings you have to do, those 4 things I mentioned, it doesn't say how long. Just a rule of thumb just to consider is that, 3 to 5 years to keep the records are sufficient, but it's really up to you. Okay, the law does not say. So understanding these points prevents unnecessary stress, and it also protects you from uh, just oversharing information that the law doesn't require. Okay, another thing I'll just throw in here, I just thought of, I didn't put this um, on a slide, is that the law does not require that if someone comes knocking at your door and want to know what you're doing and we need to see your records, that then you must show them. uh, Always, I think I did put this on the slide. It seems familiar. So maybe I did. We'll get to it. But you're not required to open up all your records and tell them to come in and look, blah, blah, blah. No. If number one, they want to come into your home, they need to have a warrant. But if someone's questioning your schooling, then have them contact uh, us at AUCHU so that we can verify that you are homeschooling legally under option 3 with under the auspices of this association. Okay. All right, so let's talk about these legal pitfalls and how to avoid them. Every year, I promise you, I um, I have issues or DSS cases that come up, or families just need some things clarified or straightened out, or they didn't follow the correct steps. And so I'm putting this out here, of course, to my members, but of course to those who are on YouTube and just behind this this recording, and then whomever you may share this recording with so they can know. Okay, so now let's talk about some legal mistakes families make and how to avoid those. Okay, here's a big mistake that a lot of families do: not joining an option 3 association before homeschooling. Okay, they are ready to homeschool, they are done with public school, or maybe they haven't started, but they just know their child is not going to public school, and then right off the bat they start homeschooling, but they didn't register or receive legal status through a homeschool association. So just keep in mind and tell your friends that membership is required. It's not optional before you begin your journey. If you withdraw your child from public school, just make sure your association membership is active, because we can't go back. You say, well, I started homeschooling in January of 2025, and now you're registering in August 2025 because you just learned that you have to register. Well, we can't go back and change your paperwork to match the day you actually started. It can't work that way. We can only record the date in which you actually became legal. So then you say, Angela, Fafali, what do I do? I had this happen all the time. What do I do now? And I said, all you can do, if you documented that paper, the schooling back from January when you started up to now when you have legal status, great, hold on to it. Two, you can always put a note in your paperwork that says, I was ignorant and just didn't know the law fully until August 2025. So if it ever comes up in question, at least you can show them the records that you were keeping, if you were keeping records and knew to do that, or you can just say, I just didn't know. I was totally ignorant. And hopefully, if there's a situation where DSS or someone reported you or whatever the case may be, you will be able to, have an answer to give them. Another one is failing to document 180 instructional days. For AUCHU, I require that you, this is not the law, but as a member, I require that you complete your 90-day attendance card and your 180-day attendance card. Because all of the families that's a part of this association, almost 400 of different families all over the state are with AUCHU. And because we all have different attendance days, our days vary. There's no way I can know if when you reached your 180 days for each of you. It's no way. But if you at least submit these attendance cards, and if it ever comes into question, I can at least say, oh, yes, this family started their schooling year this day and they reached 90 days at this day. I will have your records to be able to speak to that. And I do that a lot, a lot, a lot. So completing your 90-day, 180-day is something that you have to remember to do. You have to remember to do that. I won't come and say, I didn't receive your reports. Not going to do that because that's too much work. But you all have to remember, because then I can help and give voice to this, your schedule, your schooling days. Okay. So use a calendar or just a simple checklist. Each day you have school. You don't need elaborate records, but you do need to show that you completed 180 days of instruction. Okay, this is another neglecting subject coverage. You all, please just make sure that you're covering your studies in reading, writing, math, science, and social studies at a minimum are clearly represented in your portfolio, okay? When you get to high school level, more subjects will be required, okay? But for the younger years, when they're not doing high school courses at all, these need to be covered. And remember, one of the things the law does not say is that these have to be done every day. The law doesn't say that. But at least within your 180-day schooling year, these subjects needs to be there. When you get to high school and I'm looking at your children's transcript and I'm completing them, I want to see on there that every year they took an English. They took what English is the literature composition, that they took English every year, math every year, science every year. Although science is only required 3 years, so at least ninth, 10th, and 11th, or ninth, 10th, and 12th. We need to see 3 years of science once they get to high school level. Again, ninth to 12th grade, or whenever you start your students in high school level courses, they need to at least have 4 Englishes on that transcript, 3 maths on that transcript, 3 sciences on that transcript. And what else? Writing, reading, science, social studies, and I said that's 3 social studies. And then outside of that, there's some other courses that need to be there. But don't neglect completing these subjects. Again, if I don't see them on your student's transcript, then I will say, hey, wait a minute, they're missing a blah, 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 whatever the case may be, so that they can make sure they complete those before they graduate. Misunderstanding the role of co-ops and umbrella schools, and a lot of families do this. Co-ops are not legal entities. They just are not. They're not. They're only for enrichment. So a group of you, which I would love to see a group of you collaborate, maybe in our Discord group, and you want to start a co-op with some other families in your area. That would be beautiful. It's just a group of families getting together, providing this academic environment based on whatever subject or focus you want to do with your children. Okay. The legal responsibility is yours through your Option 3 association. So co-ops and umbrella schools do not provide legal homeschool status. Over disclosing to school districts and neighbors. So you are not required to share curriculum lists or lesson plans with the school district. That's not the law, okay? So if they ask, just refer them to the law and your association, which is what I was mentioning before. This is important, and I always stress it to families who are just starting homeschooling, who has had children in public school. Withdrawing improperly from public school. I always give instructions every time to new families who are coming from public school that you have to officially withdraw by taking your membership letter back to the school to officially withdraw them. Now, some schools in South Carolina, they would just withdraw the child without having proof, and that they're not doing it correctly, legally, by the law. They're supposed to get paperwork, see that, and then withdraw. And for me, if you are going back to public school, then I ask that you would provide me with some kind of record or statement or some paperwork from the school that shows you are returning to public school, so that there again, there's documentation. So some parents pull their children right out before joining an Option 3 association, and it shouldn't be that way. So here's the risk if you don't do it correctly. The child is considered truant after 10 days are missed from the school. So if that school is expecting your child to be there because they were there the year before, then 10 days have gone by and they're not there, then you're truant, and then they can clearly call DSS. It's a whole DSS thing. Okay. All right. So that's the risk. Beyond 10 days, the school has every right to contact DSS because the child is missing. Now, if the child is going from elementary to middle school and then you decide they're not going to middle school, you still have to go to the elementary school. I would encourage you to go to the elementary school, withdraw them, then go to the middle school and withdraw them. So just in case they get stuck in the system between those two entities, you're covered. Okay. They both know that child is not returning. Not maintaining membership in the association. Okay, this happens every year, many times over in the schooling year. So if membership lapses, the family loses legal homeschooling status. Okay, so here's your tip. Just renew on time and keep a copy of your membership confirmation. Just so you can know, AUCHU's membership expires July 31st every year. Each year, all members should renew by July 31st. That happened to my family 2 years later. I went to the district and they were like, what? Luckily, I had contact with the student services director for other reasons. And she knew my child was being homeschooled, but boy, did the others love throwing DSS at me. Yeah, it happens. It does. Oh, so for this, everyone, I will start encourage you all and reminding you by April. Okay, April, but everything expires July 31st. So your legal status expires July 31st. I will start reminding you in April to renew. I will open up registration that early because I promise you every year I have many families who they're just in the routine of homeschooling and they're going, and they totally forget about registering again. And now it's October or it's January, and they homeschool all through the summer and totally didn't register. They're like, what do I do? And I said, just register and put a note in your paperwork that says you totally forgot, or just things happen, you know, deaths in families, sicknesses, illnesses, babies born, and it just slips people's mind. So I always start reminding you, come April, start registering. Okay. All right, so let's do some quick compliance tips. These are very easy. Stay organized with simple systems, binder or digital, or here's a shameless plug. Purchase one of my planners, my journals. I have authored quite a few. They are on Amazon and they're on the website. Purchase one of the planners. I created that because me as a homeschool mom, uh, having that many children, and even if you don't have a lot of children, just it helps you to stay organized. Everything is in one concise place. The papers is already there. Uh, Progress report, everything that you need is right in that one book. So just type in my name, Angela Fafali Nyarko, in Amazon, and you'll see all of my books and all of my journals, not books, yeah, my books, journals, what else? Affirmation books. You'll see them all right there. So Nefertari says our zone school unenrolled my child with no further questions. And that's good because sometimes they're not so, what's the word? Not so nice. They can really make it a miserable situation for you if you don't do the proper steps to unenroll them from public school and start homeschooling. So yeah, so stay organized with simple systems, binder or digital, or one of my journals or my planner. My planner is for your whole life. It helps your whole life stay organized. what's going on, doctor's appointments, YouTube, outings, what else? Exercise for the mom, just, I mean, just everything. And your compliance necessary for South Carolina. Okay, so login instruction as you go. Okay, that's an easier thing. Daily instructions are simple notes. Get your kids who are old enough to write down what they've done for the day. Have them maintain and keep their own records. I started doing that because it's just, I had a lot of children I was homeschooling at one time, at one point. And so when they get older, they can do it. Uh, Maintain communication with your association. You all, I am available 24/7, and I tell you all that, and I really mean it. I am available to serve you 24/7. All right. Um, Sometimes I respond quicker than others, but at any time you can text me, anytime you can email me, and you can call at any time. I prefer you to set an appointment so that we can chat so I can make sure I'm available. But I have people just call me all the time. They come to my website. So if you have questions or you need help or anything, communicate with me. Keep requirements simple. Don't add unnecessary burdens and don't listen to everyone that gives you their information because many families who are homeschooling, maybe members of other option three associations, which require more of their members. That's not the law. And because those associations require that's not the law, then those members come and speak to you as if these things are law and they're not. So knowing the law and understand what's truly required and not is a huge blessing. Before I had this role and I was here in South Carolina, it was so much misinformation. And I was just always frustrated and I could not reach my association leader ever, never. It always went to voicemail, which took weeks to get back. Those reasons and many are reasons why I said, you know what, I want to be and provide what I don't have. So just keep requirements simple. Don't add unnecessary burdens beyond what I'm kind of explaining to you here. All right, so quick compliance tips. Number one, here's the wrap up. You all understand option three requirements, and I keep that before you all the time. And it's even on your membership package, it's in your parent handbook, it's on the website, it's keep it before you everywhere. So make sure you just look those over so you can know. Number two, clarified what the law does not require. I've told you all of that. And if something is still there, like, wait a minute, what about this thing? Ask me right now, okay? Send me a message, type it in the chat, send me a text message. All of you have direct number to me. If you're looking at this on YouTube, email me, okay? My information will be at the end of this workshop. And then number three, you learned the common mistakes and the solutions for those mistakes, okay? So let me open up for Q&A. Q&A session is open. Questions pertaining to what we discussed or anything that has you that's supposed to be has you wondering. Okay, so what questions do you have? Just unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat. It's up to you.
Miss Angela,
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier, and that actually sparked my interest because I was using a curriculum last year, and I heard what you saying were saying that we can create our own curriculum. Do you have any ideas for like any websites or places where we can find resources to help if we're kind of like brand new to creating a curriculum, like something to help us with starting off on how to do that, if that question makes sense.
Yes, yes. So my go-to, which I love sharing, let's see, there's a question here as well. So Kiwanza, that's a great question. What are some resources to use to create your own curriculum? A few things. One, I don't know if you mean like to type it up or just mentally with information. I mean, just information to create it. What were you specifically, Kawan? Let me make sure
Um, I guess I would say both because I've worked in the classroom before and I'm used to using like the creative curriculum. So like when I say make a curriculum, like actually writing one up, having lessons and then specifying what they will do, what specific lesson they're going to do in the specific
Okay.
topic. So I guess I'd say both,
Okay.
covering both.
Okay. So there's quite a few ways to do it, really. Um, for me, I think of a subject of what I want them to learn. Okay. Some things I know, like I want them to understand. Um, I want them to understand metaphysical science, right? This is information I know. I have a degree in that. So I can create a course based on my knowledge, go back to my resources, what I used to study and learn to get my degree. And then I can create a version that's for them. I can separate the lessons out. I want them to do this on this day, this day, this day, this day, blah, 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 and lay it out that way. So you can create it based on your own knowledge and your own background and things that you know. If it's information you don't know, but you want them to learn it, for example, carpentry, then maybe an uncle who is knowledgeable in that, he can just create an on the spot topic or curriculum, so to speak, and just let you know this day we're going to work on learning the different nails. The next day we're going to learn about the different tools. The next day we're going to do this. And each day he comes, he doesn't know, he just knows once they start. Okay. But he needs to relay that information so you can keep note of that. That's another way of it. My really big go-to, I mentioned this in our last month's workshop, is ChatGPT. I go to ChatGPT to help me create lots of curriculum. I'm not going to, there's literature books that I want them to read or I present to them as options to read. Fine, they choose. I won't read all of those books, or maybe I read them a long time ago, but I want ChatGPT to create quizzes for the chapters or writing assignments for those chapters. I want ChatGPT to create um, whatever. Same thing for chemistry. I found videos on YouTube that I want them to study for their chemistry. Great. Then I go to ChatGPT. I want ChatGPT to make my quizzes and my tests and my chemistry experiments and projects. And it did based on those videos that somehow it magically knows all that information from those videos. I don't know how it works, but they do. Just a side note for ChatGPT, just be careful and sharing too much information. Just use it as a tool and resources. These things are becoming smarter and smarter, more intellectually knowledgeable. So you just want to be careful with that. But for creating curriculum, ChatGPT is my go-to. If you don't even know anything other than I want them to understand how ChatGPT works, for example, create a curriculum, blah, 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 whatever. And it will do it. It will create it. You can tell it I want it to be over 20 weeks, 30 weeks, whatever the case may be. And this is what I want them to know when they're done studying this subject. Tell ChatGPT exactly what it is. Anything. So that's a great, easy go-to that I think homeschool families can tap into. I found it immensely helpful. Robin says, I was just about to ask about that because I've been setting up assignments for my son for carpentry when it comes to the science and math part of it as well. ChatGPT is very helpful. It is. I can't speak more highly about it. Um, just be careful. Maybe let your children know about it or not. But I stress to my children, they cannot use Chat GPT. What is the other one? I think another one was Gemini or they cannot use any of those resources when they're doing their schoolwork. I threaten them, don't do it. But I use it to create the curriculum. So I hope that answered your question, Kwanzaa, if that makes sense.
Yes, it did. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. And then you can, once you create your curriculum, you can do it the old school way and print it out and put it in the book so that they can use it. Or like I do, we use Google Classroom. That's my go-to communication with them. So I post their work in Google Classroom and then they go into Google Classroom and the Google Classroom is free. You just create a Google Classroom. I post their work in there. They respond do their work. I check their work. I put a grade in there, and so it keeps record of what's been completed. So that's um, my electronic kind of flow of school. Okay. Any other questions? What other questions do you all have or clarifications you want about this subject or anything you all? Just earlier, Nefertiri mentioned that she says, I'm on your Amazon now. Thank you so much for the resources. So you are welcome, Nefertari. And I always wonder if I'm saying your name correctly. Can you post a link to your homeschool resource page? Homeschool resource page. Are you talking about the planners and journals that I was just talking about? If you go to Amazon, this is the easiest way to do it because so you Angela Fafali Nyarko. If you just type in my name in Amazon, all of them will pop up, but that's not true because when I type my name in there, there's a few that doesn't pop up. I'm not sure. Um, but if you go to the website also and go under resources, auchu.org, I think it is. But if you go to the website, um, I have them all there. AUCHU.org. I think it's going to actually pop up as it still pops up as my site address. UCHU Unlimited.com. I know that's very confusing. Then you go to AUCHU. Review what that is. And it is //store.a. So that's the website, UCHunlimited.com, home store -a. You're welcome, Malika. So what I have is the South Carolina Homeschool Upstart journal for one child. Then I have it in hard or soft copy. Then the same thing if you have more than one child, hard and soft copy. And then I have the Homeschool Upstart Planner, Ultimate Homeschool Planner. That's a hard copy or soft copy. Then I have Affirmation Journal, volume 1 and 2 for students, and Affirmation Journals for parents, volume 1 and 2. So those are the things that I have authored and are available. All right. Any more questions? Any questions about this topic or anything at all? Don't leave wondering about something. Okay, gonna go on. Okay, so let's talk about our final takeaways and contact information, okay, which I will share. So the final takeaways I need you all to know, okay, gotta be members, gotta have a membership to receive your legal homeschool status. That's what we provide you, the legal status. 50 members or more, we have right at 400 members all over the state of South Carolina. 180 days are required, it's not optional. Okay, so keep track of those days. You have to have those minimum of 5 subjects that have to be there. You don't have to teach them every day, but in your schooling year, those main 5 subjects that South Carolina requires our main subjects have to be covered. Any additional subjects you want to have your child learn, any additional topics, include those. Okay. The 5 subjects are not the end all be all. Make sure your record keeping is simple. Don't overcomplicate it. uh, Even have your children keep records. I promise you, as soon as I could tell that they could keep records, third grade, fourth grade, they were doing it. I had them keeping, I threatened them, do not give me any papers without a date so that we can keep track of the dates, school for keeping attendance. And then they would check off each day they would have schooling. They had to write what they completed because I had a schedule back then when they were younger and I was schooling so many. They knew on Mondays what they're going to do, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They knew each day of what they had to do. So if it was on Mondays, they knew they was only going to do those 3 subjects. Make sure you write those 3 subjects down, what you had to do and complete, and what did you do? Okay. All right. Remember what the law does not say. That's important just as much as knowing what it does say so that people won't get you in a habit. I was like, oh my God, you're supposed to be testing my kids. Then I was in a complete panic because I wasn't texting my kids. But you don't have to do that. That's option number 2. So know what the law does not say also. All right, and here's my contact information. At any time, you all are welcome to text. You are welcome to call. I don't have my address here where you can sign up, uh, schedule a scheduled chat with me. But here's my information. You all please reach out as needed. Don't stay in the dark. Be in the know on this homeschooling group. Okay. All right. So that's it. Now I'm going to stop sharing. And again, now if you have just questions to ask each other, any things you're curious about, what's working for some versus, not working, or something you're considering doing coming into this new homeschool year. Um, so tell me where you all are. Is anyone homeschooling this summer? Okay, let's see. Here's a question. Can we do a session of tips for homeschooling multiple grades? Yes, Malika. There's already a video completed and a workshop on that topic. I just talked about it in probably September, October of 2024. So there's a video already done on that. If you go to the YouTube and choose the playlist for virtual mastermind meetings, you should see it there. You go to the website, you see it there, how to homeschool multiple grade levels. I have quite a few of those on YouTube, though. Okay. So I'm not sure we will talk about that subject this year. I have another list that I'll be sharing in August for our August newsletter of the different courses that will be coming up for this year. It might make the list. Who knows? Okay. Let's see, another question. Of course, off topic is fine, but I was wondering if you ever tried BJU Press. Yes, I have. The only thing I tried for BJU Press that I really like is their Spanish. I've used their Spanish for years. It's very thorough and easygoing. But as far as any other major subjects, I have not used. The way it is that, once you start homeschooling and you find some things that work for you and easily adaptable to different learning styles of children, you just use those. So math has always been a Becca that just works. Then Apologia for science, it just works. And then I just stopped using that, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and I pull a lot from YouTube. Um, but So BJU only their Spanish I know about. Does anybody else know about BJU or use BJU Press? No. Yeah. Sorry. All right. Any other questions off topic or things you're wondering that you want to ask other members about? Okay. All right. We're very good. July 31st is quickly approaching. So all of you who have not registered yet, please go ahead and get registered. Um, let's see, anything else? The application link, the membership link, uh, application link for the membership application is on page 2 of your membership package if you're members with AUCHU. It's also on the website, or you can just send me a message and say, can you send me the link to the membership package? I'm still doing transcripts as people need transcripts, and I'm still doing report cards as people are needing report cards. Although the deadline has gone by, I can still do those. But if they're high school level and you need transcripts, I would say just wait until the deadline of May 31st, 2026, because then at least it can be ranked. The transcript can be ranked with their peers. Okay. So unless there's any more questions, I think we're ended. I thought this would be 30 minutes, but this was much longer than 30-minute conversation. But if you have questions, reach out to me. Thank you all for attending. If you're still in your summer break, have a safe summer. Enjoy your time. We're taking a little break from summer school, 2 weeks, and then we'll start back into our school year. We did summer school for 2 months of studies. But enjoy your summer and have a great time of planning for your next 2025-2026 school year. Okay. All right. Peace and blessings, everyone. Have a great afternoon or evening. Bye.
Thank you, Miss Angela. Bye.
You're welcome.